Welcome my friends to the bays. We got a beautiful Cadillac Escalade 2025, only 300 miles on it, and I'm gonna show you a couple things because from the factory, sometimes these cars, you want them to be perfect, but they're not. So we're doing a full paint protection, optical paint protection film on the front, rocker panels. We're gonna ceramic coat this. We're doing window tint. It's getting absolute everything. But I just got this car in and I'm just looking at it to inspect the vehicle. One, to make sure that there's nothing wrong with it because I don't want to be blamed for anything that may be, wrong with this vehicle. The first thing that I saw, and I'm coming out here because I'm looking at paint protection film and, do I have to lift the hood up and everything? And I noticed that this fender here, it doesn't line up perfectly flush where the hood, it should be just up just like this, just a little bit. And it's probably just an alignment issue, probably not that big of a deal. But you look at the other side here and it's perfectly flush. So I'm looking at the scap, the hood's a little higher right here and this gap is flush. And I've already sent a small video to the customer just saying, hey, just got your car in, going over it before we even wash it. Just want to point this out. It's probably a small alignment issue, but there is a little bit of a discrepancy right there. So, and also I looked at this here. So you see this piece of trim because we're going to be putting PPF on this piece of trim. And you never know, maybe the customer, thinks that you take it off or something. We're not going to take that off, but this piece of trim, you can see this edge perfectly flush. The other side, there's a gap and you can almost see right behind it. And so those are the things that, as a business owner, we want to take a look at first to make sure that everything is on the up and up. One more thing, as we're walking around, as soon as I got out of the vehicle, pulled it into the bay, I noticed that there's polish in this crack. And that's very odd for a brand new car to have polish all along that crack. So you have to think of like an investigator sometimes. Why is that like that? Okay, somebody polished something on this door. Was it repainted? Was it scratched? Was there a dust nib? Just figuring out what it is and then coming to a conclusion of why that was polished. It may not be a big deal. Maybe they just, got out of there and scratched it a little bit and then the dealership just polished that area and they could have done a good job, but we want to take a look at it, make sure they didn't damage anything, any of the edges, or it hasn't been repainted for some reason. So you just kind of have to look at all those things and just make sure you're covering your own butt sometimes. So we're gonna get this car prepped. We're putting it on the lift because these wheels are going out to get powder coated. We're gonna get them gloss black to match the rest of the vehicle. Unique color. Most of these Escalades that you see, they're black, right? And this is an awesome bluish gray color. It's a very flat, there's no metallic to it, and it looks really, really good. Welcome to the bays in Romeoville, where you can wash and detail your own car with our equipment, or like this customer, we can do it for you. We also have a full retail store with all of our favorite detailing products. In this video, you're gonna see us do what we do best, and that is protecting and enhancing the look of vehicles. I'm glad this customer didn't want to wrap this entire vehicle because this thing is enormous. Gotta watch out. You're in the wash bay, man. Time for the clay bar. This quote unquote is a new car to the customer, but it looks and feels like it's been sitting for months in a parking lot somewhere. This is why I tell everybody that we make cars look better than new. This is the prep step before we put any of our enhancements on this vehicle. It is a little rough. All right, time to move the car on the lift and remove the wheels because they're going to the powder coater, silver to gloss black. Before I move it, take a look at this trim piece right here. It's just oxidized already. You know, this is the piano black trim, which is very sensitive. Usually we like to end up covering it with PPF, but this looks different, doesn't it? It's like it's already oxidized though, so probably gonna be best to put film on that. It's not positioned on the lift right. What do we do? I don't feel comfortable having it on the lift like that. The lift is like, it's so close to the inside of the lift that the lift here is like tilted this way. And if I can't lift it up from the middle of the lift, I don't feel comfortable taking the wheels off and leaving it there for 3 days. Plan B. We don't have a plan B. Let me ask, I bet Justin will know. Justin! We have a problem.
What's wrong?
Maybe you know the answer to it. Lift will lift it just fine. It's weighted for it, but the way the frame sits, I'm putting the blocks on the inside of the lift, and then there's so much weight on the inside of the lift, and the lift is kind of like tilting in a little bit. Oh, and I don't want anything to happen, so I feel like we have to come up with a plan B.
Heavy duty jacks.
Heavy duty jacks?
Or heavy duty stands.
Stands?
I would probably get stands, and then we can stick it in the corner and stuff, and it's more out of the way. I don't want to break the lift trying to find out.
Right. Will you go buy some stands?
I can go buy stands, yeah.
Okay. Okay, cool. I'll put this in the corner then and position it there.
Sweet.
And then I'll get the jack ready.
Cool. I'll go grab those.
Cool. Thank you.
No problem.
I knew he'd have a solution to this. I would have just looked at it for an hour and be like, I don't know what to do. All right, 6 ton.
6 ton.
That's
12,000 pounds.
That's 12,000 pounds.
That's 12,000 whole ass pounds.
That's a ton of tonnage. A ton of tonnage. Nice. Oh, look at those big old beefy boys. Okay, we just installed some windshield protection film on this car. It's a 5mm film that'll help protect against, you know, small rock chips and everything that pop up, and hopefully prevent any rock chips or cracking or anything in the windshield. So did that. Before we actually installed the PPF, I looked closely kind of at the hood, and it's hard to see, but there's just a thin layer of, I don't even know what to call it. Maybe some water spotting. Maybe this sat at the dealership just for a little too long. And it has this kind of like layer of, I don't even know what to call it. But we're gonna polish it and make sure there's no contamination or anything. This is a great way for us to check for any dust nibs. You know, we can't fix every dust nib, but if it's small enough, we can do a little bit of sanding and polishing so you don't see that when we put the paint protection film on. So Gerardo is just going to do a light polish on the front end just to make sure all contamination's off, check for any dust nibs, and then we can move on to wrapping the front end in PPF. Also decided to polish this out because it looks really oxidized, and I'm gonna put film over this. I'm gonna put film over all these pillars. To be honest with you, maybe I shouldn't tell you this, but most of the time, if we're doing PPF and we're doing a ceramic coating, if the customer doesn't pay for this part, I do it anyways, because honestly, it makes our job easier and it gives a little more value to the customer, because this stuff is just so sensitive. Even if we polish and put a ceramic coat on, it's still gonna end up all scratched. So it's easier for us to do a light polish, put PPF over them, and then be done with it. Good morning, welcome. Ready for some paint protection film. Everything is polished. One big dust nib that I'll show you in a second. But did the hood last night. Had a friend come over and help me do that. Thank you, JJ. But I forgot to record it. But I'm gonna record everything else. So let me show you this. So everything's polished. Hood looks great, by the way. It's on there. Edges are wrapped and everything. So this is a giant dust nib right there. Let's see if we can get it. I am gonna do some sanding real quick on that guy before I install. There's another one over here. There's all kinds of dots over here, and that's just kind of natural for any GM car, unfortunately. They just notorious for a bunch of dust nibs. It's just something that we have to work with. It's all right. We're gonna make it through it. We're going to correct it as much as we can and do the best job we can, because that's all we can do in life, right? You just do the best you can, and sometimes I feel like you cross your fingers and just hope for the best. Anyways, let's get the day started. Ooh, there's a giant dust nib over here too. Mother checker, mother, god damn it. Okay. All right, I'm gonna do the fenders, B-pillars. I'm doing the rocker panels, the bottom of the doors and everything too. See how far we can get. All right, cleaning everything, and I know I repeat this and you're probably getting tired of it, but like, it's amazing the defects from the manufacturer. So I just found a paint run. It's funny because this same customer, the last vehicle they brought me, they also had a paint run on the door, and I want to show you this. So here we go. Flip this guy around. So this is crazy, but like most people don't notice this or see this, right? So here you can kind of see right there. See that extra paint? You can almost see it like dripping. You can see it come all the way down this edge, and then right there, that is a paint run on the very edge, right? So that always asks the difficult question of like, how much do you point out, right? Like, that's a very minor thing. I guarantee you, unless this customer is watching this video, like, he will never, ever, ever notice that, right? And here's a dust nib right here. Here's a dust nib in the door. But it's just like, you know, like you start to look at this and you got this and you got that and you got, you know, there's another dust nib right there. You see this stuff and you start to say, how long are we going to take to try to like sand this and make it perfect, right? Because it's never going to be. They're just everywhere. They're everywhere. That is in the fender. You can almost see the dust nib in there, right? And it's not like, it's very noticeable once you notice it. There's the other one. Sanding it sometimes is dangerous. There's only so much clear coat, and that piece of dust may actually fall out. Here is the paint run right there at the bottom. You kind of see it piled up. I don't know, maybe we spend too much time worrying about some of that stuff because the price of a lot of what we do in this service is labor. Prep, right? Like, the more we spend on prep, making it as perfect as possible, the more the price goes up. And then sometimes we can price ourselves out of the market because, you know, we're taking 2 or 3 days on something that honestly should take about a half a day just to install, but you know, doing all this prep, and I don't think a lot of customers see that. Or maybe they even don't even want it, right? Like all that stuff, nobody's gonna notice except installers or somebody who's really, really going to get a microscope out with their car. But do they care? Do they notice? You know, that's the business part of things, is that you have to decide where your price point is, right? And there's always gonna be somebody cheaper. We've all had those phone calls like, hey, you know, this other guy can do it for like $500 less. Can you do it for $500 less? And it's like, okay, is he going to do the same prep that I'm doing? Is he going to meticulously care about it? Is he even gonna polish it? Because I honestly think polishing, a lot of people won't polish panels before they install film. I do. I'm not going for correction. It's just a double check for me to make sure that there's no tar or sap or contamination or anything of any sort because in the paint protection film world, I mean, obviously there's a lot of guys that do it really well, but there's even more people who end up doing a satisfactory job or an average job, because I know that most customers are not going to kind of notice the small imperfections that us installers will actually, you know, kind of dwell over. So let's get some film on the car. You ready? I'm ready. This is prepped, ready to go. I'm gonna make sure it's really clean, grab my tank, I'm gonna flush it one more time, and then I'm gonna transfer the film on there and squeegee everything down. This is what it looks like. Check it out, new wheels are on. They look gorgeous. It really matches the trim now. It brings it all together. I really like that. Good choice. So we've been moving our warehouse. You can kind of see we're opening up the bays, self-service and full service. So we have a lot more space that we're actually working with. Over here on this side, we're gonna, you know, this is all gonna be new self-service and full service space, but we moved this weekend, so I haven't been doing a very good job at filming. I actually hired somebody to come in and finish the bumper and everything on the paint protection film. I do have the rocker panels still to go, and these D pillars, so I'm gonna do those. But I also have to add some window tint, so we're adding window tint to the back windows. I already have it all cut out. So this is 15% Lumar, and we're gonna add it to all of the back windows to make it even darker. So window tint, and then polish and ceramic coating. So we got some work to do still, but we're slowly getting there on this giant Escalade. All right, finally the film is all on. It's now time to do the paint correction and the coating. Looking at the paint, it's a new car, and why are there so many scratches on it? It's crazy, but actually, a gentleman sent me a new tool to test, so this is great. We're gonna test out this new tool. This is Barjack. This is a tool developed by my friend Barry Thiel, and he sent us out this machine. Thank you so much. This is a 15mm throw corded polisher, so we're gonna test this baby out. We're gonna use it on this car, and I'll give you my thoughts. Probably shouldn't do that. Barjack. Interesting name. First impressions, it looks like a polisher. All right. It's got a hard casing. It looks good. Let's see what it comes with. All right, so you got the machine. Oh, you got an extra set of brushes in there if you need to change them. That's always nice. What's in here? This packet. Oh, it comes with pads. Wait a minute. More pads? Yeah. Huh. Well, let's try those pads out then. Okay, cool. Comes with a set of 4 pads. That's nice. Comes with the tool to change the backing plate, some brushes, Let's whip this pad on. I want to see what this is. This is a thicker, very plush microfiber pad. Let's see how it does on the machine. All right, so I am particular about the machines that I use. Only reason is because now that I'm older, I've realized that using crappy machines with a lot of vibration really hurts you in the later years with your joints, your wrist, your fingers, your wrist, and all that stuff. So I like a chair. You can see I have my cart here. I just like to make things as easy as possible for myself because you only get one body and you have to take care of it. That's just the way it goes. So I'm hoping this machine, I know the Talking to Barry, there is a very, very attractive price point on this too, but for myself, I rather pay for something that's going to work really well and have that ease of use. So let's go ahead and glob. We're using Jessica Correction Compound. If you haven't used this yet, oh my God, it's great. Their performance compound and the correcting compound, two very, very, very good products. Okay, cool. So, not too bad. I'm actually gonna test out. You can see a lot of sanding marks up there. Oh, those are deep. Why would somebody do that? All right, let's throw this baby on. It works. It's a machine. There is a little vibration there. I'm going to use a Rupes machine, and I don't know if Barry's going to like me comparing it to a Rupes or not, but that's what people are going to do, just because I want to see if there's any less vibration from a Rupes. I should probably go get the new Rupes machine, actually. Yeah, the Mark V. So now, is this an apples to apples comparison? No. The price point of this Mark V is much higher than the bar jack machine, so take that into consideration. I do believe that there is value in getting something that is 80% of what the top tier product is at a 50% whatever price reduction. There's value to that, right? There is. We're consumers, we all know that. A lot of times we'll buy the generic brand or something that is a little less expensive, knowing that the quality is not going to be 100% of the product that we would buy if we paid a lot more. So, it's heavier. That's one thing. Me, where I'm at, I would prefer to pay more and get a machine that is so. Mark V, it's lighter. Let's go ahead and use it on the car and compare vibrations. I'm gonna use the same pad, clean it off. Mark V has a much longer cord. There has been some issues with the backing plate. I believe Rupes is coming up with a solution because the backing plate Velcro ends up giving out pretty quickly. If you know anything about that, or have experience with that, shoot some comments in the comment section down below. The pad did fantastic, by the way. So did the compound. It removed those sanding marks with ease. All right, I'm gonna do the same spot, same area, kind of compare the vibration of this machine. There's still vibration to this machine. I'm gonna switch them real quick just so I can give a back-to-back feel. Ever so slightly, a little more vibration, but honestly, it's not bad. I've used machines that were way worse, so not bad. I really like it as far as that goes. And I know the price is about half of a Rupes, so. Does have the soft grip on the side, has the top here, which is faux carbon fiber, and then it has a soft grip up here, so that's nice. Again, I probably shouldn't be comparing it to this machine, but This machine's a little thinner, exact same size. Cord does have this ball on the end, which is nice to twist. That is a cool feature, I like that. Your Rupes just has your normal cord, no ball at the end. The Rupes is obviously a better machine. I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. This is a very nice machine. Just the trigger, the lock, the everything, it just feels so much smoother when the machine runs. It is a little bit quieter. I mean, the Mark V is a great machine, but this is not a bad machine by any means. This is still a very good machine. Trigger feels a little cheaper. The dial feels really nice, actually. Ooh, I like that. I like the dial actually better. You hear the click? That dial's really nice. You can feel you don't hear the click like you do on, I mean, this is a very intuitive type of switch to go here. When you're using that, same thing here. I mean, that's just as nice. I do really enjoy that click. Trigger's not as nice, but I don't know, does it matter? I mean, once you put it in the locking mode, you're not really using it. Cord's nice. That's on 1. I do notice that the backing plate and the normal Rupes, you have a rubber shroud that kind of rubs against the backing plate. So it looks like this one is designed for that backing plate to be just off of that shroud, which is nice, where you can kind of see on this one, you see that plastic, it just kind of hits that. It's like touching the backing plate there. I know that a lot of people do washer modifications, which Rupes does not recommend, you know, on their machines. This machine does come with grease a lot. You can see there's grease on top of the backing plate to make sure that that's rubbing. I've never liked that. I don't know why they do that, actually, because it does feel like it kind of restricts it just a little bit. Let's test some stalling. I want to see if this machine, the power, don't want to get too aggressive on this car, but let me put it down to like a, let's go down to 1. I do like this backing plate. You can kind of see the grooves in it. You can see if it's spinning or not. That is nice. So that's on 1. I'm putting some decent pressure on there. Sure is spinning. That's at 5. Nice. I mean, it didn't stall. Pressing pretty hard on it. Let's check out the Rupes. This one's a lot harder to see if it's actually spinning. It's so greasy that it's not even working. So just to be fair, the stalling on this is a safety mechanism, right? It should stall. For most polishers, most people who are polishing, you want it to stall in certain areas because you don't want to damage the paint. When you become a little more seasoned, you have a lot of other variables within paint correction that you can adjust, and you don't really want it to stall. So let's take it down to 1. Oh yeah, that's, I mean, you can almost see it starts to go in the other direction. Okay, easy to do it, to stall it on 1. Honestly, I didn't get any stalling on that one, so let's bring it up. Yeah, no stalling on that either. This is a nice machine. So it's stalled on the lower settings. For the Rupes did not stall on the lower settings with the bar jack. I mean, this is a nice machine. This is definitely something that I'll probably end up carrying on Car Supplies Warehouse. I'm gonna use it throughout this car here. I really wanna get some time with it. You know, the other thing that I can't really test is using it over a long period of time, you know, months, and see the longevity of the machine. So I don't know that yet. But so far, first impressions, I mean, a solid machine. A solid machine at a respectable price. And I'm just gonna be real with you, you know, it's like, I sell stuff, and obviously I want you to buy the more expensive stuff. I make more money off of that. But as a consumer, as a detailer, just getting started in this business, sometimes we can't all afford Rupes. And if you're just getting started, this is certainly a respectable machine to get started with. So that's my opinion. Let's keep on using it. Back to the show. There are just so many dust nibs on this thing, so I'm actually going to do a quick cut and see if I can reduce a lot of them, and then I'll come back with a polish. Normally I would just polish. This is pretty new, the scratches aren't too bad, but with those sanding marks there and the dust nibs on this thing, I'm just gonna cut the whole side real quick and then spend some time on the polishing. All right, okay, paint correction is all done. Looks phenomenal, a lot better. So it is now time to apply all the ceramic coatings. So we're gonna be applying Crystal Serum Light, one of my favorite coatings. Very easy coating to apply, very durable, 3 to 5 years of durability on this. The first step is to actually panel wipe the entire vehicle. So we're gonna wipe down the entire vehicle, panel wipe it, remove any of those polishing oils that are gonna interfere with the adhesion of Crystal Serum Light, because we wanna make sure this is absolutely gonna get the longevity that it deserves, and so proper steps. We're also gonna do the same. We're using a special wheel coating. So this is W5. Panel wipe the wheels and put W5 on all of the faces of the wheels. And then for the glass, I'm using Naziol Glass Shield. So this will go over the windshield protection film. It'll go over all the other glass. And I prefer to actually use CSL on all of the trim pieces and the rubbers too. This works great and fantastic as well. So here we go. All right. I'm gonna wipe on. Gerardo is going to wipe off. Good?
Yes.
Will you do wheels? I'll do glass.
Whatever. You?
I'll do glass.
Right.
You do wheels.
Yes.
Wheels. Hey, thanks for watching. This was a huge job. This is what we love to do. We love making cars look beautiful, and this is fully protected. The customer is going to be absolutely happy. Thanks for watching. If you need your car done, links are in the description below. Thanks for watching. I already said that. We'll see you next time.